the courage to see change as an opportunity and not a threat. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Paroma Chatterjee and honored to be in front of you today to deliver the closing remarks for a day full of insightful discussions that we have all enjoyed courtesy Business World. And I'm here to talk to you as a summary of overall trends and evolution of the fintech industry, an industry that is really shaping the way the 1.4 billion Indians are interacting with their finances and payments in all forms in ways that we never thought possible. But before we dive into that, a bit about what I do. I'm the CEO for Revolut India. For those of you who know Revolut, and for those of you who don't, Revolut is one of the fortunately highest valued global fintechs, which started out in the UK back in 2015 by disrupting the cross-border payments and currency exchange and transfer space. Since then, Revolut has a full digital banking license in Europe, and today more than 30 million active customers use an array of financial products from the super app that is Revolut across the world, and we process more than 400 million transactions in a month. That's a bit about what we do. And with that context, let's dive into what I'm here to talk about today, which is the evolution of fintech. Evolution of fintech. Pretty deep. That takes me back almost, 25 years ago, was my first brush with actively engaging with financial services. That's not an invitation to guess my age, folks, but that was the time when I left the comfort of my home to go to business school in IIM Lucknow. And what did it mean for me then? Wide-eyed young girl, leaving the parents' home for the first time, going to a different city. My father accompanied me there. He actually had to physically go with me, open a bank account for me in a bank branch in that city. And believe it or not, I don't know, those of you who belong to that Generation X, you might have seen this. My father actually carried a bag full of cash with him on the train in which we went from Calcutta to Lucknow. To then, after my account was opened, to deposit that cash into the account in my name that would come in handy, hopefully for me, when I had to cover for my expenses over there. And how did I access the funds in that account? There was an ATM on campus where there was a queue of students. We would stand in queue to withdraw cash and use that cash to make payments at the stores which were on campus and inside of Lucknow. And that's how my journey with financial services started more than 2 decades ago. While that is what my life was like, what was my parents' life back in Calcutta? Yes, they had to pay the monthly landline phone bills, they had to pay the electricity bills. It was a Saturday morning date for my dad to go to all of those billing offices, stand in queue, make the payment, then go to his branch, have a cup of chai and chit-chat with his branch manager and come back home. That was life 2 decades ago. Evolution of fintech. When my son now goes to college, what will life be for him? Will I need to go accompany him to a campus? Possibly I will. A mother's heart is not so easily going to let their boy go off without accompanying them in a new college, in a new city. He may go somewhere in India, somewhere abroad. But will I have to go there and go figure out a bank branch and open a bank account for him? Unlikely. He'll likely have a new age smartphone on which, courtesy a few taps, he or I will be able to open a bank account for him, sitting at home even if we go anywhere. Will I have to carry wads of cash to deposit it? Whether he goes to college in Delhi, Bombay, or goes to college in London, New York? Doubtful. Either of the places, I should be able to, with a few tap of button on my phone, be able to put in money into that account. Will he need a card and stand in a queue at an ATM and figure out what an ATM is to draw out cash? Unlikely. He will have all kinds of apps, from food delivery to ride hailing to whatever else the next generation may want to do, and all of that integrated with a payment app from which payments will happen all smoothly and seamlessly. That, ladies and gentlemen, is at the heart of the evolution of fintech. Today, all through the day, you all witnessed some very insightful discussions. Praveena touched an important aspect, which I personally believe in as well, of this entire digitization in the morning today, right? She spoke about democratization, that this entire evolving fintech landscape is ensuring that every one of the 1.5 billion Indians, regardless of what strata of society they come from or which location they reside in, are able to have similar levels of access to various financial services products. Then you also witnessed a very insightful discussion, a debate which Vaibhav anchored on how overall startups in the fintech space are contributing to the Indian ecosystem at large. And we can't deny that for the 9,000 fintechs that are there in India today and the 4,200 of them that are active, they're obviously contributing a lot to this ecosystem. And not just that, the world is still bullish on investing on the fintech sector in India. Do you know, we were the second highest invested sector in the world, the India fintech sector, with the $5.65 billion worth of investment that came in last year, even when supposedly there was a funding winter all over the world. That's how bullish the world is on the fintech sector in India. And it's not just the amount of money that came in, mind you. The thing that interests me is back in 2021, there were 535 institutional investors who had invested in the fintech sector in India. Do you know how many were in 2022? It has doubled to 1,011 unique institutional investors who have invested in the India fintech sector last year. That's how bullish the world is about India and its fintech. What's driving this bullishness? If I look at the cornerstones, which I like counting on my fingers, the first one is access, right? Again, going back to the democratization, today, any Indian from any corner of the world, corner of India, is able to access similar financial services thanks to the kind of technology penetration and data penetration and connectivity that has happened in India over the last few years. Second is convenience. Again, thanks to the amount of data that is available and what all technology can do, it has actually made it so much more convenient for each one of us to sit at home and avail of all kinds of financial services, whether it is payments, whether it is availing of a loan, whether it is making investments. The third is cost effectiveness. Because of this entire digital way of doing business that you've heard through the various sessions today, the cost of availing of financial services has significantly come down for the consumers and the users across the board. The fourth is time effectiveness. Things that used to take days earlier to do today takes minutes, whether in India or sending cross-border payments out to other countries. And last but not the least is pure play innovative decision making. Given the amount of data available, big data analytics, the AI and ML that you guys have heard through multiple sessions, that is enabling personalized services to be delivered to customers where her loan offering and interest rate is different from his loan offering and interest rate today. So not just from the customer side being able to offer personalized services, from a regulatory side also being able to make better decisions. We just came off a panel talking about collections and digital collections and underwriting. The quality of being able to underwrite using data and machine learning has improved so much that you can take better decisions on customers on what to do with them, what to offer them and what not to offer somebody. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is the significant way in which we are all seeing this beautiful world of fintech unfold in front of our eyes. And last but not the least, the most new age innovation that is happening in the area of crypto, in the area of blockchain technology, You again had a nice session from Sharath where he talked about it. And I'm pretty much getting fond of this word that we haven't got into a new decade, but we've actually gotten into a new decade now. I'm pretty much getting fond of using that word. And that is, ladies and gentlemen, true. But having said that, even though there are these 5 very clear benefits that fintech is evolving to offer the consumer landscape, the one major thing that needs to happen is for the regulators to walk the talk, go hand in hand with the fintech companies to create an innovative new age framework that well governs this entire use of technology, to create a progressive framework with which we can continue going forward to disrupt this landscape, so that maybe in the next decade, if our sons and daughters are talking about the evolution of fintech, they will have a completely different conversation then. And how does it happen? It basically happens at the end of the day when customers, hello sir, good to see you. When companies are faced with a choice. The choice to do things the way it has been done before, or the choice and the courage to look at things and say, okay, how can we do it differently, is the day when evolution happens. As a closing note, I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence. 2 roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that, ladies and gentlemen, has made all the difference. Thank you very much for listening to me patiently. Have an amazing evening, all of you, and congratulations in advance to all the award winners today. Thank you so much.